Kitty Cat, what do you think? That's it. That's it. Okay, you have to be silent. Hey nerds, so as you know, I'll be starting law school this fall at Georgetown as an evening student while I'm working. But wait, there's a plot twist. Thanks to the Come on! Every time! Okay, you gotta say hi. Hey everyone, this is my kitty cat. She just wanted to say hi to all of you. Okay, honey, I'm gonna put you down. But wait, there's a plot twist. Thanks to the Rona. Really? We're just gonna keep filming with Kitty Cat because I think she wants to be in my chair. Thanks to the Rona. Myself, along with pretty much every other law student this year, is gonna be taking their classes on Zoom University of Law. So today's video is gonna be about my process in getting ready for law school during a global pandemic. I'll also be talking about what orientation is going to look like and what I expect things to look like going forward. And before I get started, make sure you hit me with a like and subscribe if you want to see more videos of this kind. Okay, so law school, work, pandemic, all at the same time. I know, I'm insane. What am I thinking? But here's what I'm expecting it to look like. I'll be taking 3 classes this semester. Those classes will be legal writing, civil procedure, and contracts. I've gotten my syllabi for all of these classes so far, and it looks like at least one of my professors is going to be requiring that students have their cameras turned on for the duration of class. We've already gotten reading lists, and I've purchased books and all of the other supplemental materials, at least that my professors listed so far, that I'll be projected to need this semester. Orientation is going to be starting next week, but because I have the flexibility with my job, I'll be taking that week off to get myself acquainted to all of the changes that are going to be coming up this semester. I wanted to give my brain a little bit of a breather before the school year began, and hopefully a little bit is going to go a long way, because this semester is going to be exhausting. Having that extra week off before school begins is also going to help me do some supplemental prep and do some of the readings that my professors have already assigned for the first day of class. Another thing I did was buy all of my class materials. Now, since this is my first semester of my first year of law school, I bit the bullet and I rented new versions of my books. Now, I did this for a whole myriad of reasons, but here are a few of them. The first is, I don't like reading books when I can see someone else's highlighting or writing or thoughts in them. So I needed a new version of the book so that I am the first one who's able to dissect the information when I need it. But when you rent new versions of books, you also get the online code. And that can be helpful when you're doing keyword searches and looking to pinpoint specific information during the course of the school year or when it's time for finals. Another thing I did was designate an actual workspace. I built my own desk. Well, I guess you could say I did that. I basically bought a desktop and some desk legs from the Container Store, and voila. Now, you don't necessarily have to go out and get anything extravagant or expensive, because Lord knows I didn't. But having a designated study space during a lot of online pandemic learning is going to be something that makes a huge difference in the long run. I also made sure that all of my tech services were organized and subscribed to. I set up my cloud services, Zoom accounts, Office 365, and pretty much anything else under the sun that I felt would help me during the course of the school year. Yes, ma'am. You tell him. Tell him, soldier boy. Hey, no eating here. Another thing I did, and this may seem like a small one in the grand scheme of things, but it made a big difference for me, is I got my eyes checked. My vision has not gotten better as I've gotten older, and being able to actually see the text clearly when I'm going to be reading hundreds of pages in the course of a week is probably going to make a huge difference. Alright, so what am I expecting classes to look like? Since I've gotten my syllabi for my 3 classes that I'll have this semester, I have a pretty good idea of what the semester is at least theoretically going to look like. All of our classes, like I mentioned, are going to take place on Zoom University. All students have also been assigned logins to an online-based service called Canvas, where we can see all of our course materials and announcements from our professors. And the most important part, finals. All of our finals will be take-home, and they're going to begin the first week of December. So I think the benefit in that is we'll have open book finals, but as you all know, sometimes those can be 10 times harder than an actual in-person final. But we'll see how that goes, and I'll cross that bridge when I get there. So now let's talk about the pros and cons of attending Zoom University of Law at Georgetown. Because I'm somewhat of an optimist, I'll start with the upsides. One of the biggest upsides in having completely online classes and online work for my first year is that my commute is pretty much eliminated, and that is huge. It basically adds 2 hours to my day. Instead of me having to walk from work to campus, scarf down food, change clothes, and get situated in the classroom, I basically just get to end work at 5 o'clock, go to my kitchen, eat some dinner, and then walk back to my desk and get ready for class. Another benefit is going to be having open book finals. Now, I know that for some law schools, that's not necessarily a new concept, but from my experience and talking to other evening students, having open book finals your first year is not as common. Stop it. Hey. Alright, so now let's get into the downsides, and unfortunately there are a lot of those. I'm not gonna actually have FaceTime with my professors or my cohort, and as I've mentioned in previous videos, half of the value of law school is the people that you meet while you're in law school. Now, I'm not under the impression that people are gonna be cold and not necessarily want to connect with people. I'm sure we're all kind of wanting to immerse ourselves in law school experience and culture, but it's not gonna quite be the same with a purely online experience. This is another concern that I mentioned in my collaboration with Steve Schwartz, but I also mentioned there being a tech learning curve. Now, this is something that I think is going to impact students and professors, but mostly in the case of professors, if they are not acclimated to online learning, they might not necessarily be equipped to make online learning the best experience for students at this point in time. Now, hopefully, tech support at the university is going to be a resource for professors so that they can help us all, students and professors, make the best out of this situation, but we'll see how things go, and it remains to be seen whether or not tech learning curves are going to be a big impact in how things go this fall. Another pretty big downside of purely online classes is technical difficulties. Now, I don't necessarily have these problems, but there's no telling whether myself or other students won't have them during the course of a year. But if my Wi-Fi goes out or if my computer has issues, it's a wrap for either that day of classes or for that period of time. Fingers crossed that doesn't actually happen. Another downside is that I won't actually get to learn the layout of the campus. Now, that's another one that sounds really small, but in terms of knowing where your resources are, what times they're accessible, and things like that, I really wish I had that opportunity. Now, given the circumstances, obviously, it's okay. I'll be fine, but I'm gonna miss that experience, and hopefully I'll have the opportunity to do that next fall. All of this being said, Georgetown Law has yet to announce, at least to my knowledge, what they plan to do in the spring semester. But given how things are going with COVID, I am not necessarily under the impression that things are going to be workable in the way that we'd all hope for them to be in January. So overall, there are a lot more downsides to upsides, but I'm healthy, my family's healthy, and fortunately, I think I'm as zen about this process as I can physically, humanly be. My goal for this semester for YouTube and law school is to provide 1-minute weekly updates on how things are going that week. Anyhow, I hope you liked this video. Make sure you hit a like and a subscribe, and I'll see y'all in a little bit. All right, say bye, kitty cat. Bye! I'm now part kitty. Oh God, okay.